everybody, and amazingly, it is live number 80. Wow, how did we get to 80 episodes? I can't believe it.
All right, Leon, you one go.
So we just do a couple of times.
Somebody to play us in if you can.
Right,
please.
Leon's going to play us in. Now, excuse all the books. We are in the process of moving. We're going to be doing a move, alright? So you can see books piling up everywhere. Basically, our house is a cupboard full of books with some people attached. Right, and there's already a pile of books in the new house as well, so it's going to be a real problem. Right, okay, so there's so much stuff tonight, so you've got to wait for the dowsing thing. We go through the whole nonsense of dowsing. Keep going, Lily, keep going. We got all sorts of music events. I was going to do a poem. I'm going to sing ha 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 for all those. Actually, I might. Very good, Leo. What up there? The music. You pressed the keys. Very good, anyway. Oh, my goodness. Don't look at the state of our house. There's a lovely smile from Leon. Thank you for that. Right. Now then, there is so many people online already. How exciting. Elliot Flynn, first on tonight, 5:21 with a whole lot. Fair play. That's early. I'm on top chat. How do you do this, Anon? No, it's in order, I think, isn't it? Live chat. Oh, there's loads more chat. Yeah, okay. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Prynawn. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Yep, subs have got to 3,300. Amazing. And Adam Griffith, first night of the round table. So, yeah, all hail Adam. And I'll show you about that in a second. Let's say a few more hellos. Kay, Andrew Wilson from Independent Tropical Merthyr. Keep spreading the word, everyone. Yeah, thank you. It's growing great so well. Ross Maur. Ooh, thank you. Diolch from Swine's Eye. Right, Swine's Eye. That'll be the Swansea Jack then. Hello. Wow, I wonder if that's Clive who I met during the week. Hello, Ross and family from Marchell. Oh, Jay. Wow, it's great. Loads of people. Hugh Evans. Well, we've never had so many people on to start with. Fantastic. Myrig, Suzanne Price, Graham King, evening all. Right, there's so much stuff on tonight. We're going to be here all blinking night. Evening Romans. Is that Emu Cat trying to wind me up there? Hello, Mark Edwards, Mark Ibbotson, JD Lee. Hails, greeting from Birmingham. Love your channel. Look forward to these videos. Well, thank you very much indeed. Everyone's been so kind. Well, yes, well done, Leon. Good playing. You had so much. It's been such a busy week. I've been out almost every day. Getting up at 6:30 in the morning. Oh, man, I couldn't get up at all this morning, so I do look rested. And I'll show you some weird stuff we've done this week. I hope the one thing we did, which I hope people got to see, was the acoustics test on Cor Illid. If you haven't, I think most people have watched that now, but it's we're going to do a second round there. Thank you for all the feedback on that video. If you haven't seen it, you'll see it. It's only the last video along. Have watched that and just get a chance, but 22 minutes. Because the idea is Cor Illid is the... So I'm just fiddling with something. It's their core is the old Welsh word where we get circle from and choir and all this kind of stuff. I know. In your books it'll say every single word came into the Welsh language and nothing went out the Welsh language, but you'll find it's not always the case. We're going to do a little bit about the tumps as well in a second, just to give an example of that. The dowsing thing you'll enjoy. Got an update on the turbines. I'll do that first. We'll get out the way. Ugly business, but some beautiful singing to go with it. And me. Beautiful singing and me. Not one and the same. We got more Roman finds. We got all sorts. It's so much tonight. I'm just going to welcome all the new viewers because it's growing every week. So there must be new viewers. The idea is it's light-hearted. We keep it good fun, family-friendly on a Sunday evening. So no rows, no nasty, aggressive comments. Everyone's just cool and spreading the love and discovering that the history, unsurprisingly, that we're told in school and on the mainstream is nothing like the real history, and there's loads more. And what's great is you can find this history in the books. It's only hidden. It's not destroyed, not yet. It's only hidden history. And we've got a great team of people. That's why it's Britain Hidden History. It's not all about me. It's about loads of people. I'm like the reporter, if you like. The chopsy one out front who tells you all the cool things lots of cool people have been doing and have found. So if you've got a great story, give me a shout. I'll come out, film, and we'll put that up as well. Okay? Or send me a video. Just send me a video. You'll see one video that's been sent in this week, which is pretty cool. Alright, there we go. I'm going to go straight in. Because there's... oh, hi, Julian, as well. Good to see Julian. Evening, Ross, Craig, and Tara. Right, okay. Right. I'm going to have to fly in because it's so much. We're just not going to get through it till midnight. I try and get the shows down below an hour. I've given up on that. Hour and a half, all right? If I say hour and a half, it's going to be 2 hours. I do my best. Right, Phil, first of all, a couple of apologies. I did say the Wilson and Blackett video would go up this week, but I've been out every day from morning and then every evening busy, so I have not had a chance. It will go up this week. There's an old video, Artorius Rex, worth watching again. I want to do it as a premiere, and the idea of a premiere is if you log in live, it's a bit like this. You can have the live chat, and we can all join in. It's good fun. Yes, hello Deborah as well. Hello Deborah and Julian. So it's really good fun, and there's loads of good points on it. And I like, it's a team thing, a nice atmosphere and a chat going, so that's all good. And there's something else I promised this week, which will be coming up very soon. Oh, it's in my brain a second ago. It just went in and back out again. What was the other one? Anyway, congratulations first of all. They're part of the Sengenith crew who were up there mapping the stones, and we're trying to map it to stop it all getting destroyed, basically, with wind turbines. I'm starting to call them hill factories. Wind farms sounds too nice. Wind factories, really, or energy factories. Well, Wayne, who I met last time I was up seeing the Polaris Stone, with his good lady Helen, they had a birth of a child called Gwenllian. What a great name, Gwenllian. There you go. So congratulations on that. And also this week, I was at the Brecon Mountain Centre, and I was up there going to, first of all, Lebanos. So doing some follow-up on the migrations, could tie in with Lebanos. And I think you've worked it out by now, maybe, that Laban seems connected with the original migrations. And what we're trying to work out, we've got the stories in British history, the hidden history, that the original British, even before the Cymry, before the Welsh, the original British would have come over from the Middle East, and they're called the Albi migrations. But what we're looking at is the possibility the word's been corrupted, and it was actually Laban, Alban and Laban being anagrams, and there's probably a reason why that was done. Then you can see it, and the curious thing is how many of these places you can see in Britain. Like, I've got to mention Marchell Abrahams, who's just put up the second part of the Noah video on her channel. So Marchell, Marchell. You'll see her name in the comments. Just look it up. Go to her YouTube channel. The last one did really well, 450 odd views, growing very quickly. This one's brilliant. So it's about 40 minutes, so make sure you watch when you've got a good spot of time and a cup of tea. It's brilliant, okay? Right, so my new friends, Howard, I got to mention Howard the groundsman. I hope he's watching. I don't know your official job title. You were doing some work in the gardens there, so I've taken a wild stab. He was great. He brought up locally in Brecon, and I just got chatting with him. I was doing, we'd been up to, with a few people there, so Graham and Tara, it was great to go with you again, and of course Gavin and Tanya, and the dogs, loads of dogs everywhere it felt like. So we were going up to see the hill fort there, and have a look at that. I've been up there, done some filming. That'll be going up as soon as I get a chance to edit it. And the other thing we're interested in is that Ichdid. Now, Ichdid is very important, and he's going to come up in a show I'm writing, which we'll hear about at the end as well. He's also very important with the bard I mentioned last week, or the druid, who's probably the main chief druid in the whole of Wales. And I'm up at the crack of dawn tomorrow morning to drive up to see him. And I'll be filming at Camlan. So if you're near Camlan, I know, late morning, midday tomorrow, look out for me filming with a druid in the Battle of Camlan. Which is the same place as Wilson and Blackett had it, but he's got a lot more detail. And also, and again, to the world of dreaming past lives and getting some history from that way. I know it sounds bonkers. So there's a lot of things in this to get looking more at it. Me, I am, I don't know what to say. Wait to get to the dowsing bit. I am so straight. I am so not into any mumbo jumbo. Arnie's where I was a few years ago. And just getting freaked out some of the things. And this guy is wonderful. Alright, so right, here we go. I've got the comments on that there. The Kingstone is my pendulum as it spun 30 one way and then 30 the other, and it kept doing it continuously. I love using my pendulum indoors too. Yeah, pendulums, I don't know anything well, I got an idea about pendulums, never used those. Anyway, so thanks to Howard, because what he did he said, yeah, you got the church on all the tourists go to see Illtyd. It doesn't take much digging to work out where the real church was of Illtyd. But you won't find it just following the tourist route. And Howard, wonderful guy, he explained to me that the church of Illtyd tragically was knocked down 25 years ago, 1995. Because for our good, of course, health and safety. They couldn't insure it. Loads of people were going up there. Perish the thought, people going to a church, eh? So they knocked it down. And they've taken all the stones away. And it's just a gravel pad, but some very, very interesting gravestones. And Howard also pointed me in the right direction of where the grave of Illtyd is. Which, again, if you weren't looking for it, you'd never find it. So look out for that video. Try and get it up this week, okay? Digital Zen, I'm in Swansea too. God, Jack's everywhere. I lived a while in Swansea when I was young. Don't tell anyone. My Cardiff City fans, I keep it very quiet. I'm part Jack. Yeah, it's out. People know now. And also, Clive the Jack, another one. I met Clive up on the mountain. So he says he's going to watch. He hadn't heard the channel before, so I hope he's up there. See if he can... yes, they do care so much, Jay. Yes, they care. It's all done for our good. It's all for our benefit. One of the most important ancient churches in Wales was knocked down and every stone taken away. And not a trace left. Not even a sign to tell us it used to be there. They're really caring, because who knows, someone might trip and hit their head on the sign that tells us all about the site. So, thank you for that. I don't like sarcasm, but there we are, it fits sometimes. Right, so we've got Clive the Jack, who was excellent fun. And he put me to shame because he was up the top of this mountain. And I was like, I wonder what that hill over there is. It looks really interesting. So, of course, he's got the map, he's got the compass, all the gear. And he did have an idea. All the gear, and he did have an idea. As opposed to be wandering around like an idiot, okay? Pendulums work. Yeah, I'm sure they do. All right, I'm not knocking them at all, Paula. Jackie lived in Swansea for 5 years. My daughter was born at Singleton Hospital. There we are. Yes, beautiful part of the world up on Town Hill. I spent a lot of time up on Singleton because my dad went to the Teachers Training College in Swansea. That's why I was brought up there. Right by Singleton Hospital, where my dad had his appendix out, I believe. Right, and a special hello to Juliet and her daughter from historical Rusaisen. There you go, Juliet, regular viewer, send us loads of great information. And long overdue for a hello. Right, okay, top comments from last week. I always like the top comments. So Jarden, he's keeping track on the glowing. We passed 3,000 last week, 3,300 this week. That's brilliant. And then my singing. People love my singing. If you're new to the channel, it's the highlight. So, oh no, I forgot to put the name on this one. We had 1,000 live viewers, dropped to less than 110 when the singing started. Everyone except Ross is in tune. Pity the poor neighbours, and Ross is the only one not in tune. So there you go. Everyone except Ross is in tune. Yeah, we did a group sing song last week. I want to do more of those, and there's more music opportunities coming up later in the show. Oh yeah, and thank you for the first ever tip. Someone sent $2. Thank you very much, and I did note the name, and I will write it down. Yeah, if you want to have a look, we also got members now. Don't worry, you don't miss out by not being a member, okay? It's not about any special content or anything like that. It's just a way, if you want to put a few quid in the jar, help keep this thing going, great. There's no pressure, no obligation. And you get a little thing you can use when you write your comments, if it works. Yes, you can see it. If you look at Adam Griffith, he is the first knight of the realm. And if you look, he's got a little arrow next to his comments. So diolch yn fawr, Adam. And Paul and Steve are the first ever YouTube members last week. And you can hit the join button and leave a pound or two if you wish to. Like I said, no obligation, much appreciated. So Adam Griffith, first knight of the round table. Boom, boom. There's also the Patreon supporters. So thank you very much to those people. They do get a few bonuses and first look at a few things. And every week, the presentation, I put it onto Patreon so they can have it for themselves if they wish to. Right, but all the content goes to everybody. This is here to spread the content. Right, okay, here we go. This is a rather, just drag the mood down for a few moments. If you remember last week, I was chasing the project manager in charge of the wind farm, as they call it, the factory they're putting up on St. Gennydd Common, and destroying the whole area. And I was explaining, Bob Morgan sent me the information that people see the diameter of the turbine. I think, it's not that bad. It's only 20 metres or something. It's not the end of the world. And then you realise that's not the real damage. Apart from it slaughters all the birds and the insects, and the rotors only work for a few years and you have to get landfilled because you can't recycle all the carbon fibre, and the concrete coming from halfway around the world, and they are an ecological and environmental disaster. It's a scam. All right, are we okay? Oh, cup of tea just arrived. I've got 2 cups of tea now. I'm backing up my cups of tea. Back in my rugby days, they call this double parking. I have to down 1 in 1. If this was pints, I can't have cups of tea. Right, thank you very much, Angie. Right, I lost my track completely now. What was I just saying, hon? No idea, see? Caught out. He's watching F1 probably. No, I'm not. No, I'm being cruel. Right, okay, we're watching... No, I was just saying that when the turbines we think are great, but they're not really. And the bit of concrete you can see is nothing compared to the total area of concrete, which has to be there for the cranes to put the towers up and the access roads to drive the cranes in and the heavy vehicles. So right, last couple of weeks ago, we had a public consultation which lasted a whole week. Wasn't very publicised, hardly anyone noticed about it. I went along and I tried to collar the project manager, Matthew Horton, kind of fobbing me off a bit. He seems a nice enough bloke. And then last week I was saying, well, how do we get involved in changing things? What's the planning process? And I got fobbed off reply, so I replied again. So he's explained now. Thank you for your reply. Apologies for the delayed response while I've been out of office. The development footprint, including infrastructure, is consulted on following the final design. The final design. This is the point. The final design is it. They've invested a lot of money in getting this design right, so it'd be really hard to change it. The words final design are very worrying. It's not provisional. It's not up for change. It's not a draft. It's a final. So they call it a final design freeze with statutory, i.e. they've got to do it, the statutory consultees. They're only going to bother with the ones they have to legally speak to, which is basically CADU, Conceal and Destroy Whales. I mean, keep whales safe, or whatever it stands for, CADU, to keep. It's interesting, CADU is an old Welsh word for to keep, which is nice, but it's also very close to an old Welsh word for to keep secret, to hide. So anyway, think what you like about that. We are relying on CADU and possibly GGAT, which is Morgan and Gwent Archaeological Trust. And if anyone's read any Wilson and Blackett, you'll know they've got a checkered history, to put it politely. They're going to decide the environmental impact assessments. Oh, that's been done, environmental impact assessments, that's all done. And national significance planning. So basically what it means is, unless you've got things on the list of national significance produced by CADU, it's not going to count, and the whole thing is going to get battered. Wind towers are a sham. Yeah, they are, unfortunately. Why can't they put out wind turbines off sea or remote islands? Well, they can do that, and they do. Sadly, I mean, it's better for our history and heritage, it's true. But they are more expensive, and they just leave these big blocks of concrete. I don't think people realise. You'll see a video in a minute. It's quite disturbing, which Danielle and Lloyd have sent in. Because, thank you for raising that. One of the problems is, I worked for GGAT for one season. Oh, David, please send me an email at the Roman Fort in Barry. David, it's ross@cymroglyphics.com, all right? Send me an email. I'd like to know more about GGAT. I really would. Anna Wilson's favourite subject. Right. What happens to old wind turbines when they die? Right, now, excuse me a second now. This is what I could do with... Right, so I'm just going to... God, it's going to run like clockwork tonight. Oh, it's going to be so slick. Hang on, let's wait. This is not the most high-quality video, but thank you very much, because it makes the point extremely well. And it's Danielle and Lloyd. You might have seen they're on Rich Planet. They do holistic health. So have a look out for them. I'll put a link in description. Do lots of great stuff. They're brilliant. And they're going to be helping me with getting the books out and stuff, so we can get more books written. Because with all the things going on, I'm not getting the new Wilson and Blackett books out, which has to be top priority. So they were down. This is in Cornwall. I'm not sure exactly where they were. They were on the way back from a little holiday. And they saw this disastrous... an old wind turbine farm. And just to explain... before you watch this, what happens. I thought these windmills, once they're up, they were there forever, like windmills of Amsterdam. But sadly, the turbines last at best 20 years, optimistically 25 years, which causes quite a few problems. First of all, it takes, by the industry's own figures, possibly 7 to 8 years to get back the carbon that's used in the manufacture and erecting them and transporting them halfway around the world, making the steel, quarrying the lime to make the cement. So it takes about 8 years anyway. The blades quite often wear out sooner and they have to be landfilled. I mean, the more you look into it, these things are a blight. They are not environmentally helpful. They're a blight. Anyway, as part of the contract, they will have a provision in there and a payment is made for them to clear up the site after 20 years when they've done their useful life cycle. You can't reuse the concrete bases. It's a weird one. Bob Morgan, who worked in that industry for decades, explained to me, they sit like a sort of, almost like a cradle. So as they, enormous pressures coming through the turbines, they rock slightly. And you actually get minor earthquakes just to add to the fun. So if you've got lots of them and they're all rocking away, you're actually getting, it messes up the seismic readings. They can't check for earthquakes. And heaven knows what it's doing to animals and plants and whatever else. Anyway, let's not get too much into that. But they spotted this on the way back. Oh yeah, so what happens, unfortunately, is by the end of the 20 years, hello Richard DJ, a bit late, but welcome, Cloiso, is the company that set them up, well, I think they're called the development company or whatever happens, they go bust and they disappear. So even though you have the same people operating the system at the end, it won't be the same company. So no one's going to pick up the bill. You've got these massive steel towers rusting away. Sometimes all the blades taken off. You see here mostly 2 blades taken off. And they just left, I don't know, forever. Just going to rust away in the countryside. So very kindly they stopped off on the way and took some footage. Oh, by the way, these are small ones. I think these are 50 metres. The ones on St. Kenny will be over 200 metres.
This is what we are leaving.
I'm not sure if you can hear Danielle. What she's saying is this is what we're going to leave to our grandchildren.
Of derelict, broken windmills, rusting.
Yeah, leaving derelict, rusting windmills just rusting away. Hundreds of them. See, it all turned off.
It's a small part of it because they go off into the distance, can't quite capture it on film. There are ones with arms missing, both arms missing.
See them rusting? That's what you're going to end up with.
Further up there's like mass of them. This is the only place we can stop safely.
Well, we can just take with
there's loads of them.
Alright, it's a short clip there. I mean, there's a good view. Oh, there we go. So that's going to look like in 25 years or so. It's a rusting tower with a broken machine on the top and no one's going to pay to take them down. Which is not an easy job anyway, because these things literally weigh tons and tons. So, I don't know what happens eventually when the rust really kicks in and they start to fall over. I guess there'll be a bill and good old Muggins people here we'll have to pay it, won't we? You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Right, now I've got my my protest song, which I might do tonight. Because we're gonna make a music video of that, so I might leave it up till a bit later. But just get everyone. I've done with that negative, right, Arnie? Don't forget.
Yep.
If I make any more comments about wind turbines, you have to ting me, all right?
Okay. No more comments on wind turbines.
Because we're going to be on to the happy, cheerful stuff. Although I might do my protest song, that doesn't count, okay?
Okay.
But what we're going to have now is very nice indeed.
Is cameras everywhere.
Tara and Gavin. We're up there now. I'll just explain, right? Because if you look in the background, this is up Money the Gear. We're just above St. Peter's Church, and just look how many wind towers. I'm going to be having I took a photograph here somewhere. Oh, I forgot to do that tonight. I'll try and do it next week. With a panorama lens, and it's going to be a quiz to win a prize. I'm thinking of what's a suitable prize, a nice prize, of how many wind turbines can you see in one picture. Because it's like, I don't know how many. They just go, you see right back in the distance up there, there's a load more up there. This is the whole of Wales is going to be like this. And it's coming to England and it's coming to Scotland. And the reason I mention it here, obviously, it's going to destroy the history, which tends to be on the hilltops. So anyway, so we're going up there making scenes for the music video we're doing about the protest. And but then these two just impromptu, didn't realise. Gav grabbed my old guitar, and they just started doing this. I was thinking of it like, this is not a promo for wind farms. It's very nice. Think of it as a bit of healing, alright? It's just a little couple of minutes. We have some healing music. Can you hear the guitar?
Queen of peace and the flowers, Queen of peace and the sea, Queen of peace and the desert, Queen of peace and the sea, Queen of peace and the flowers, Queen of peace and the sea, Queen of peace and the desert, Queen of peace.
Oh, fantastic.
Isn't that fantastic? Brilliant. Yeah.
I reckon speeding up, don't take this.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Hope everyone enjoyed that, much as I did. And thank goodness I had the camera out and we were all there. And well done both. Well done Tara and well done Gavin there. Just great. Yeah, that was lovely. Thank you. I saw the comments as well. Yeah, there's loads and loads of these wind farms going everywhere. It's the latest scam. It's another example of public money, well, the money going from the public purse into the private pockets. That's all it is, really. I mean, you could talk all night about it. But I promise not to, and we're going to go back to more fun things.
You did promise not to.
I am very good. I'm going to have to sing
I'll flick you in the ear next
time. I can't possibly follow that. I'm not even going to try to follow that with my song about, where to stick your turbines kind of thing. So thank you, Tara and Gavin. I'll be roping them in. They're going to be part of the music video. Also, Beth Ann, beautiful, talented Beth Ann. And I'll reach out to Zoe as well, Zoe Spencer. I haven't seen comment for a while. And if you're a musical person and you want to be on the video, drop me an email. And what we're going to do is going to get some clips And then Paul, who's a proper director, he's going to mix it all together. And I've been yomping all over mountains, taking lots of videos of wind farms and you know, they're right on top of historic sites and things. So the main pictures go up there, and then some of the information, like I was mentioning today, like how much concrete and how much damage and all that kind of stuff. And then in and out the corners, a bit like Band-Aid or something, we're going to have the various singers from the Britain's Hidden History group, which includes you. If you're watching this, you're already in, all right? There's no membership fees or anything. Okay. So we've had that. Right, okay. Here's someone else in the Britain's Hidden History group doing a great thing, which will have a Britain's Hidden mention on it, which is Karen, my good friend, who went to visit down in West Wales. I did. That's another video I need to put up. Oh, my goodness. Oh, do you know some of these channels now are struggling for content? They have to waffle for hours. Like, our list of unposted content get longer and longer and longer. So yeah, support Karen. You can buy the calendars. Click on this link, which is in your description. Say like a proper YouTuber. Holistic health is good. Yeah, it's all holistic. We got to look after our souls, haven't we? Okay. Hi, Hippie Shake. You live in West Wales. Get to come along to Brecon Folk and yeah, Johnny. Yeah. About the show. Wait till the end, Johnny. I'm going to dump you right in it. So be prepared. So last year's calendar is the one you see behind me. So I'm not commercially involved in this, but Karen's super nice and she's put Britain Hidden History on it somewhere on the calendar, and I just like to support her. And she is looking after a particularly important cromlech, which is stones with stones over the top. It's stunning in West Wales. It took me forever to find where Karen lives because it's really middle of nowhere. And even there, right, even in the middle of nowhere in West Wales, there's assault on the environment, I guess you call it, trees and some cutting down and nasty stuff. Hey, beautiful images. Here's last year's. So this is nice big calendars. Lovely, beautiful images, fantastic photographer. So very happy just to give that a plug, alright? I can't see what you're seeing, but there we go, and every page is nice. Alright, fantastic. So, ideal present for people, as would be a Goithboith set. What to give the person who got everything on the website. The old game as played by King Arthur in the Mabinogi. They're only registering for training in Canada right now, eh? Sorry, I missed a bit of a chat there. Towers of business. Don't promise not to talk about. Yeah, I will talk about it in more shows, but not all night. Right. Little quick one. Oh my goodness, something I didn't prepare at all, but I'm just going to have to waffle a bit now. But it's been known before, I usually get away with it. Hopefully I can remember. Right, there was a good discussion on one of the Facebook groups the other day. It's called Welsh Native History on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, please join in, because there's some really good discussion there. And there's some very... let's put it... some very academic contributors who have a very... high opinion of their own comments and not a very nice opinion about other people's comments. But one of the things I want to deal with, as hinted at earlier, was that there's this conception in... It's not going to get too heavy, but there's this perception in academia that every word has come into the old British languages. It's not just talking about Wales now, right? Because England, the Lloegr, would have spoken a similar language. As I mentioned in previous videos, I think would have been very close to Breton, because the army of the 280s was largely an English army, as far as I can tell, that invaded Brittany, and why it became Brittany, and the language is Breton, because it was the language of the Britons, the people who went over there. So if we go with the assumption they were early English, pre-Saxon, and we're talking 280s, then they would have spoken... Why else would the Bretons speak the language they do if it's not the language the invaders brought with them? This is my little theory. It's nothing more than a hypothesis at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to prove more about it. But one thing which is interesting is that when you look at the Norman invasion, 1066, obviously long time later. So if you think of the Saxons really sort of taking control, what, 600s, 700s? You've still got Cornwall holding out till 800s, 900s, Elmet in the north. So I've got to talk about the north again. Met a fascinating guy this week. Oh, there's so much, can't keep up. This, in many ways, would have been a reconquest by the Normans. This is where I'm twisting it round. If anyone wants to pick up on this and write a book or something, do it. I'm not trying to stop anyone else because the odds of me getting it written are very long. So I got Wilson and Blackett's stuff first. One of the things I like to probe into, if I had the opportunity, with the idea that the Bretons is largely a re-invasion rather than a new invasion just by Normans. And a good example, if you look up the Earl of Cornwall, and you'll see the first... I'll tell you what, let's have a slight... See, it's one of my little famous diversions now, which either people enjoy or drives you crazy, okay? Right. Oop. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I'm going to go to Wikipedia. Just show you this sort of thing. Alright, we're going to look at Earl of Cornwall. Not the Duke of Cornwall, like the current old Charlie, alright? Right. So if you look, it goes back to Caddock, which is the ancient... only attested by William of Worcester 4 centuries later. Alright, well we can look into all that. It's another story. But if we look here, this guy's more interesting. The Earl of Cornwall. You see the first creation there? 1068? Right, this is Brian. I love it when they got names. Like Brian. It's like my family, right? There's only one famous Broadstock before me, and his name is Fred. If you're in Canada, you'll see the Fred Broadstock swimming pool. I always forget which city it's in. You can look it up on the internet. Fred Broadstock swimming pool. Isn't it great? You want this really famous ancestor with this great name like Theodore or something. No, Fred. And this one's Brian, alright? And let's read a little bit of Brian. See, now here we go. You see, Brian, this is on Wiki, if you know what to look forward to. He's a Breton nobleman who fought in the service of William I of England. And he became a powerful magnate in southwestern England. The first post-conquest... Get my new teeth in. The first post-conquest Earl of Cornwall. And you can read all about him. And if you come down here, there's all invasions of Dublin, all kinds of stuff. Now, here we go. So 1069, so 3 years later, things are still rumbling on. He wasn't all over in a day, as the history books tell us. He caught up with Harold's sons. I think you find he killed them as well. And this is the Battle of Northam in Devon. So there's always been this border between Cornwall and Devon. Very separate places, which is interesting in itself. And I would think, if you go back even earlier, from observation, it seems to me that people of Devon are more likely to be Gewisse, which became Wessex. Wessex, I don't think was Saxon at all. It was Wessex, it was Wissey. But anyway, this guy here, so he's been fighting away in the southwest of England. Then later in the same year, Brian and other yobs relieved siege at Shrewsbury and Exeter by English forces against Norman lordship. Did you realise this? That there was still fighting going on? They didn't just say, oh, you won the battle, you're the king. And then they were too late to save Sally, what's happened there? Save the former to Shrewsbury, but they did save Exeter. And they punished their audacity with great slaughter. Yeah, I bet they did. Anyways, there's all sorts of battles going on. And you'll see the picture's far more complicated. And I think the Bretons are a big part of that, okay? So, trying to return to where we were before. All these things are open. Look at that. 1,000 things open. Oh, need to go to slideshow. Alright, okay, so now, let's wait a second on that. Now, the reasoning why all these words should come from Welsh from England, English, or from Saxon or Norman, even Roman into Welsh, is there's no logic when you think about it. Well, to me, it seems perverse logic. If I've got a country here, use my hand, and this invading force comes in, okay? We're going to go with a model of an invasion, alright? Stick with me a second. So they're coming along and they invade this bit. They've invaded these two fingers, alright? Sake of argument, just to try and make the visual. So the people in this area are now going to be a mixture of those that were there already. So in this case, the Lloegr, ancient English or Britons, and a combination of mixture with Angles and Saxons and maybe some Romans and whatever, right? There's a mixture. So in this part, we've now got a mixture of all these people. So when we get a word like tump, or some of these old words, which, as we'll see in a minute, they don't know where it comes from, to me it seems a good chance that it would be a word that the local people were already using when the invaders came in and the word didn't get wiped out. Yeah? that's one, what's the word, prognosis or possibility, okay? Well, it's on the wrong hand, so I jam my fingers. So, on the other side of the fence then, I'm like Spock from Star Trek, you know, the old greeting. Oh yeah, what's he say? It's not live long and prosper. That's right, yeah, don't mess with super glue, that's it, I remember. So what you have here, well, this part over here, which in this case would be the Welsh bit, Wales, also Cornwall, north of England, the west parts perhaps, but particularly Wales we're talking about today, which has never invaded and had its own language. So why on earth would the people here be inheriting words from someone who invaded over there? To me, it just doesn't make any logical sense. And I'm just going to do a quick, just to show you how the, right, what we're going to do now is, I'm just going to type in here. So anyway, this argument was kicking on Facebook, and they were saying that, it's come up different. I did on Google last time. This isn't Google. So anyway, definition of Trump. If you do a Google search for Trump, it just says 16th century, origins unknown. So 16th century, the first known use. So it's quite recent, really. It's a few hundred years ago. Okay. So there's no real long antiquity to the word being English. But the problem we have, the people I'm debating with are, some of them are people who are actually compilers for the GPC, which is the official Welsh all-encompassing dictionary. It's the one I call the Winston Smith Dictionary. You'll know that reference if you know your George Orwell, because they decide what words are correct and where they come from and what goes in. And it's done by committee and it's anonymous. But I've got to know some of them and discuss with them. And one of these words is, why on earth do you consider tump to be a more modern English word or a Saxon word? There's no Germanic roots. I've got friends in like David and people like that. They can't find Germanic roots for it either. And yet, if we go back to this in Welsh, we got the word tump, which should be tumpi actually, not tumps. That's a mistake there. But anyway, the full name is tumpath. And tumpath is a manufactured mound. And this is the key point. It's not just a hump in the road. It's a manufactured mound, all right? And the verb to make a mound is tumpathi. So there's loads of connected words in Welsh, all right? And it gets a little bit better in a minute. Now, if anyone here might know of something called a tumpath, which we take part in now and again with our local church. And a tumpath is very old, traditional Welsh folk event. A celebration, a party, games. And you do a bit of singing, a bit of dancing, and you play going around in circles, down a bond. What do they call it? I can't know what the English is. Like a barn dance. A barn dance in English is like a tumpath. So it's kind of an ingrained word in the culture, and it's got... so I was laughing there because one of the people put in the discussion how we get a tump of manure. That's to say, well, a tum is a constructed circular mound. So we got all these words, so we'd see me, we got a combination of words to make up tumpath, tumpathi. It's ingrained. But if you go in the GPC, official Welsh Dictionary, you'll find that this word comes from the English, and even though another video I've got to put up, which I've filmed with Graham and Julian, was when we went up Tumbarlan, and Tumbarlan's another word which is related to this one, because tum might even be the root of the word tomb, because you have a tuin or a tomb is the mound in which someone's buried. So you went up there to try and, that's another bizarre one by the way, just throwing it in, is that if you go to Tumbarlan, you'll see on the video there's a little sign there telling you all about it, except there's no mention of who Barlam is or what tum means. So there you go. So this is what we're up against, all right? And if you want to have a glance over to Facebook, Welsh Native History, and see the discussion, you'll find lots of lovely people and a very reasonable discussion until an academic comes in and just starts calling people everything, and it's really horrible. So, and one reason I want to mention it, this week I was contacted by an academic doing a PhD on partly about King Arthur, but more about the the way in which you've got the mainstream academic views on it, and then you've got how that interacts with non-academic or amateur view, like Wilson and Blackett and maybe Chris Barber and various other writers. And why is it they're more popular? Why is it people aren't reading the academic stuff? And why have the academics got such a bad rap and reputation, which I would say is down through the floor? So it was a 2-hour discussion. It was videoed. I hope it becomes public. I've asked him if we could show it, because I think it covers a lot of points. And he was super nice, super nice. Right, what else we got on here then? A volcano erupted in Iceland. Dreadful pestilence all over Britain. Right, okay, we're going to avoid the other politics. Right, okay, anyway, so this little thing on words there. We could talk a lot more about that. And Marcell's really brilliant on your word. Etymology is a posh word. But anyway, here's what's that thing about academics and to and fro. And why I'm very keen to speak to Scott, his name is, as to why the academics are so aggressive towards people outside the university world. It comes across as though they're quite scared. Are they left well behind and they're afraid of looking stupid? But there might be more to it. But he did make some very constructive comments as well. Actually, Scott was top bloke. He was fantastic. I loved my time with him. And although he's interviewing me, I was picking his brains just as much. And the things which we're working on, which are really important, are things like in the books, good referencing, good indexes, good footnotes, all that kind of rigour that you want to see. And an appreciation of other academic work which has gone before. And this is where I have a little bit of a problem. It's like my book, Cymroglyphics, How to Read Hieroglyphs Using Welsh, which a breakthrough made by Wilson and Blackett, not me. I've just made it into a nice, easy format. Is you can work out almost immediately that Champollion, 200 years ago, the genius who cracked the hieroglyphs, decided the language was Coptic when he was 11-year-old because he had a dream. And if you go through the works, I've got another book, buried. There's another book. I read a lot of books about how to read hieroglyphs in the mainstream. And what the curious thing is, you'll find no references at all. They just say this equals this, and you just got to remember it. Oh, and by the way, somewhere else it means somewhere else, and somewhere else it means somewhere else. So I don't think it's a level playing field. And also, why would I spend half a book, on 10 years learning all this stuff if you can see it's fundamentally flawed? As I was saying to him, picking up one of Marcell's sayings and twisting it a bit, they're arguing over twigs and leaves, and I'm not even climbing the tree, Different tree, please. And there is a history, anyway, in the Cymroglyphics book, which is available for the website, the quick plug. I do explain there exactly how the mainstream went, the history of it, in a nice, easy format. Right, okay, here's a fun one. How are we doing for time? 10 to 9. Oh, I've got to speed up. Right, don't spend too much time on this one. Did anyone see this story this week? I asked Scott about this. I said, here's a classic example, mate. How on earth is this plinking thing Roman? And he had no idea. He couldn't explain. Or he chose not to explain. So, what you can't see too well here, but you'll see better in a moment, is it depicts the story of, Achilles and Hector battling it out at Troy, okay? Yeah, Ross and Martin Litka are doing a show together. Yes, we are. We are. Tuesday night. Thank you, Hippie Shake, for mentioning that. It was going to be last week, but I was running around and Martin had some other things on, so it's now going to be this week. Okay, so there's the... Right, I'm going to have to interrupt that slightly, because I'm going to show you the article. Come on. Yeah, Tump, not Trump. But if you look at... I should find some more Tumps. Hang on, let's look at another one. You get the idea. Go look them up yourself if you like. Dictionary.com. Here we go. Small mound. So it doesn't mention the manufactured part in the English. It's interesting. It doesn't have a source for it. There's no etymology in the English. It just appears like magic into the English language. But that's okay. Things can appear into English. But in Welsh... This is what point I'm trying to get to. It's like with history. Like we're going to see this Roman thing now. Here's the Guardian article. Alright, we'll go straight into the video, alright? The point is, the reason I've linked them is, when anything is found in Britain, it's assumed to be foreign, unless you can absolutely prove it's not, and it's British. And it's the same with words. Words are always assumed to be foreign and import. And it's like this weird thing that, I don't know, Britons are just too stupid to have words or do things. Yeah, it's only 2 minutes, so I'll watch it. This is ITV's explanation of what happened.
Perfectly placed here more than 1,000 years ago. The mosaic floor of a Roman villa that's helping archaeologists piece together history they've never been able to before. Stretching 11 metres, it's the first of its kind found in Britain. Uncovered by the landowner's son, who last year experienced some lockdown luck.
It was really difficult for a lot of people, and getting out into the fields was a really good way to escape, if you like. And in this particular field, which I've been in for quite a lot of my life, I noticed some bits and pieces on the ground which I'd never spotted before, so it really inspired me to go and have a look into this in a bit more detail, because it was really quite unusual.
To think that actually, if you hadn't decided to go out that day to have a look at the field, you may never have found it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to dig any more holes in fields anymore. This is something which could happen again.
Luckily, he won't need to. Historic England have taken over, protecting the site and its location while archaeologists work to see what else lies beneath.
What's so exciting about this discovery isn't the sheer size of the mosaic or the quality of the tiles, it's what it tells us about the Romans and specifically what they were reading at the time.
Mosaics were used across the Roman Empire, often featuring famous figures from mythology, but this one shows a scene from the poem Homer's Iliad, and Achilles' battle with Hector.
I've got to interrupt it now, right? Because this is the key moment. So all across the Roman Empire, you got mosaics, but this is the only one about Achilles and Hector, right? And then you watch now, the TV version will try to kind of massage this into a kind of, they were so well read, you know, they read the classics, like that's just like some public school boy from Victorian times. It's ridiculous. Now, this is the important thing, because one of the big parts of what we do here is the migrations. And this is just gold dust for this argument. Now, just to give some background for people, we got the Alban migration, 1600 BC, the Lloegr, all that kind of stuff. Right. Later, we got the Cymry, and we've got possibly other people. This way it ties in with the Bible. Going to Anatolia, that's the claim. All right. So the claim is after the Troy, which is about 650 BC. As you can see, Wilson and Blackett's book, Trojan War, 650 BC. After 650 BC, after the fall of Troy, Aeneas took the people, who I think are probably what they're calling the Luwians, maybe not directly the Trojans, but they're from the region. It doesn't really matter, okay? The point's the same, as you'll see in a moment. He took those to Italy, and the claim is they became the Etruscans, okay? And eventually the Romans. All right, but that's one group. Now, about 6 generations down, I think it is, you've got 150 years. It's probably not 6 generations. Yeah, I think it is 6 generations. Anyway, you got Brutus. Brutus was prophesied he'll kill both his parents and then lead next exile. So his mother died in childbirth, so he could say he killed her. It's a bit harsh. And he accidentally shot his father with an arrow in a hunting accident. So he was chased out of Italy. He wasn't allowed in court by pain of death, I suppose. But anyway, he's gone back, and he's gathered the other half of the people who were still in Anatolia, the rest of the Luwians, wherever they were, Cymry, and he's then led those on an expedition, migration, all the way to Britain. And this is bracked up then. You can see things like the Lemnos Stela, the stone. We can read in Old Welsh writing about this, what's happening. As again, Marcell's doing work on this. And then we go over to Etruscans. You can read the Etruscan language using the old British, Welsh writing system and the words. So that book needs to come out. It's all there. Wilson and Blackett have done it all. And he came to Britain. Now, this is the great thing, okay? So, the point here is that for many years, this was accepted history. The English are Trojans, the Welsh the Cymry, maybe the Hebrews. Little variations, but that was accepted. It's why Shakespeare wrote a play like Troilus and Cressida, which is about Troy, because everybody in the audience would know all about Troy. They all accepted that's where they came from. This was their history. It's in all the history books. And then when the big rewrite started, about the 1680s, 1700s, it got taken out and was reduced to just a myth that never happened, and was a sort of a British invention. So we got two ways logically now, but a game theory, right? That was a big part of my degree, is game theory and logic. Let's play a bit of game theory. We got two options. One, this mosaic was made by Romans, or two, it was made by local British people. Now, if it's the point, if it's the British, then it makes sense because that's their history. They're talking about Troy and Achilles and all that. This is their history, so you expect to see it. But if it's Roman, the curious thing is, for Romans to do it, it must also be part of their history. Because we have this weird thing in the academic world where all of Roman history is considered like absolute, don't question it. Tacitus and all this kind of stuff, and Caesar and things. But the bits about Aeneas and the founding of Rome, oh no, they're legend and myth, they don't count. Well, someone thought they counted. Someone a long time ago thought they counted. And it doesn't matter if it was a Roman laid floor, or which is far, far, far more likely a British laid floor. It confirms a connection between Britain and Troy. And that's why this is significant. And that point isn't mentioned at all. And neither is any possibility that this might be locally made, because there is nothing on it to say it's Roman. Nothing at all. I'll catch the rest of the story. See how they try and massage around that.
At the Trojan War,
we have no parallel for this anywhere in Roman Britain. And it's complex. It's in three different sections, a little bit like a comic strip, each one showing the next stage of the story in the Trojan War, to be this huge and this complicated, and to tell this incredibly sophisticated story from ancient Greek literature is a very niche interest. Whoever commissioned this was clearly very well read and very well educated.
And very well...
Sorry, so we've got supposedly a Roman who's read Greek history, who's in Britain to commission the floor. Now, all the other Roman floors are always to do with like Saturn and the gods and the Greek Bacchanalius and all these different Roman themes. And I would also note that the trailing work around the edges also looks very British, so Celtic. We don't like that word here, but Celtic. The kind of knot work around here, it just doesn't look Roman. But they don't even... This is a frustration that I'll try to explain to Scott. The frustration is they never even consider the idea it might be British. It's bizarre. If this was found to be not old enough to be Roman, they would then become Saxon or Norman, you know? And if it was too old to be Neolithic, it's never British. Never a British thing. Bizarre, isn't it? Oh, there you are. Someone else. Mark. Thank you, Mark. The frieze around the main edge looks British to me. Yeah, I agree with you totally. Also, the thing about Buddha, yeah, it was Michelle who came up with that first. Buddha in Welsh is the good life. Anyway, let's crack on with this one a minute.
Healthy. It's thought the mosaic was the floor to a dining room or entertaining space, built to impress. And even 1,500 years later, it's certainly...
1,500 years later? Hang on, that makes it 1,500, doesn't it? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, 2,000, which you're roughly in, take away 50, makes it 521. The Romans were long gone by then. So they say this is 6th century and it's Roman. This doesn't stand up. Why aren't... The point I was trying to make to Scott is, why is there no academics challenging this at all? Zero stum. None. No one says boo to a goose. And that's why they got no credibility. None. Because none of them stands up and says, hang on a second. How can this be Roman if it's over 500... after 500 odd AD. Even the most radical mainstream would say they left in 409, 100 odd years before. And please, there's another thing that came up, stop calling this era sub-Roman. Imagine if you called India sub-British, or Poland sub-Russian. You know, it'd be so defensive. So why is it okay to call this sub-Roman? There you go. Except his history's bollocks.
Allow news at 10.
News at 10. Thank you, ITV. A comment. Can I comment? I'd love to bloody comment. I really would. Oops, sorry. No, shush you. We've had you. Shush. We've had you once. Hang on. Back to me here. All right. So there you go. That's just one that came up this week. And you can see the articles and stuff. I put the links in. There's a Guardian article about it. Yeah, I'm going to read it. It's all the same rubbish. You can watch the ITV thing again if you want. I put the link up. Right. A quick one. I'm running out of time. Oh gosh, time flies by. Right. One of the things, interestingly, because we have the same thing, of course, the biggest example is Fishbourne. Huge Roman palace, it's wonderful. And what I'm trying to get to the bottom of is, if anyone would help me out there, please, how is it they got this one to be promoted, if you like? Because again, it's another one that's not actually Roman. It's Roman style, it's Roman era, but it's actually British. And if you look in the article, by the way, in the Guardian, I'm just remembering reading it, they got things like these glass items, so they must have brought in foreign artisans, and they've got carved things. They must have brought in people all the way from Italy to carve this. It's just, well, racist. Let's call it what it is. It's racist in my view. It's outrageous. Anyway, Ivan Wynne-Williams, who's a brilliant writer, and his books are featured often. Go and look for his pretty distinctive name. You'll find his books. They're very good. The Roman villa near Chichester was almost instantly identified as a palace for a high-ranking Roman. And this is the key, right? They thought it was Roman. So its size approximately equivalent to Nero's Golden House in Rome, or to the Villa Romana del Casale, near to Piazza Reminiana, everything's Italian, Sicily. And in plan, it closely mirrors the basic organisation of the Emperor Domitian's palace, the Domus Flavia, completed in 92 CE. Thank you for all this information, it's excellent. Upon the Palatine Hill in Rome. Alright. Now, Fishbourne is by far the largest Roman residence known north of the Alps, about 500,000 square feet, a larger footprint than Buckingham Palace. That's Wikipedia, okay? The one at Caermead, you'll see the video there. What's it called? I can't remember, Hidden Palace or something like that. No, just Caermead in the video search, you'll find it. Is about the same size and is not noticed at all. And to me, the difference seems to be that when they were excavating this and about to promote it, they thought it was Roman. Now, it's pretty clear now that it was owned by the British king. I was in a bit of trouble with this one. Cogidubnus or Togidubnus, which is translated. Have I got the translation up here? Anyway, this is what it's got. It's got a museum over it. Isn't that amazing? Again, it's not Roman. They have to admit it. Very slowly. It's taken 50 years. The wheel's slowly turning. But I think at the time they found it, they thought it was Roman, which is why this got a roof over it. If they'd found it was British, it would be like Caermead to be filled in and buried. And I don't really know why. I don't. It's blinking dreadful, isn't it? There you go. Right. Oh, here's a discussion. So here's a little... If you're not on Facebook, join it. I'm not trying to suck all your information off you. Put a pseudonym. Make up all you like. Don't put any personal details on there, but it's a good chance to join the historical chat. And if anyone wants to back me up on Welsh native history, it's very lively on there sometimes, piling. But be polite, we're the good guys, alright? And always remember when you're commenting on these things that you might never change the mind of the idiot you're arguing with, but a lot of other people are going to read your comments, okay? That's my tip. Right, so I said, Caermead never saw light of day. So John Griffiths is also a great researcher in Britain's History Group. He's currently doing a lot of work on Colburn, ancient writing. I'll be talking to him again soon. Anyway, so Togidubnus, he's a brother of Cymbeline, another Shakespearean play. Another famous person from British history. This is the old British royal family. It's there. You can see it. It's just hidden. There's this fantastic history where the royal family goes all the way back to, well, at least 500 BC and probably 1500 BC, and we never get to hear about it. The stories are brilliant. We're being cheated out of our history. There you are. So John has tried to deconstruct this to Togidubnus. So something like a pile to gild a duke, a place hush. So I think he's still working on that. So the point is, the question of whether Togidubnus was renamed after Fishbourne was built, or whether there was something already sizable in place before the Romans came, which he expanded upon. Might even be before the Romans, Not clear whether the palace remained as an ancestral home, as Togidubnus' apparent only child, Claudia, appears to have married Aulus Prudence in Rome. See, again, we've got these connections with Rome. We got the whole thing, Timothy 2 in your Bible. It's the British are running the show here. It's the other way around. Oh, Barney's typing. What have I missed?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. Why are we not interested in our own history? I don't understand it, okay? I don't understand it. So I put... that was Henry Jones, sorry. And we got John. I used to live a half mile from the site. I think the names got mixed up. Anyway, sorry about that. Apologies. I tried to give credit where it's due to everyone. It gets a bit confusing. So nothing there prior to this building apart from marshland, What you notice from the site is that the floors have subsided, as it has bad foundations. In one room, the floor was abandoned, supporting rolls were cut through the mosaics. And that gives us a picture of that. Or we just watched the ITV thing. Anyway, quick one on the Pictish. Now, I don't know much, or if anything, about Pictish rock art. Sorry, I just finished on that, shouldn't I? So there you go, anyway. So we're up against. This happens almost weekly at the moment. Seems to be a lot of these stories. And there's that edge of the frieze I just spotted. See the knotting work there? Very un-Roman, very British. And the stories about British history. But it's Roman. Of course it is. So anyway, if you know more about why Fishbourne got to see the light of day, literally got to see the light of day, as opposed to Care Mead, buried under tons of mud, please let me know, okay? Some good comments on that after I read through there. Anybody, what's that Facebook Ross just said? Yeah, thank you, Paul. And also thank you really for other comments about the healing work. The singing to try and fight the wind factories on the hills. Yeah, we'll do that. Where was that? Fishbourne. Is that Fishbourne? Is that the one? The one in the East Midlands. I'm not sure exactly where it is. If you click on the link below, you'll see the Guardian article with all the details. Fishbourne's down the southeast somewhere. Hampshire, I think. Guessing a bit. You can look up Fishbourne and find that quite easily. I haven't been there. Right, so here's a good comment from Tony. Loving the recent stuff on the programme, especially the hieroglyphs in Welsh language, and how much traction it's getting. It got me thinking. I was looking at some Pictish stone art and some of the symbols, and I wonder if you could apply chiroglyphics with Pictish stone art and see if you can read any of it. So there's a cracker there. It seems more of a story, doesn't it? Also, some of the artwork looks like it depicts the tracking of the seasons with the V of the mountain, the sun appearing between it with a marker stone, as per image attached. I think I remember it in one of your videos about Llewellyn Bren, that was, talking about an eclipse on a mountainside. Yes, indeed. The idea is if you've got a ridge of mountains here, so there's a skyline, it's got hills, a little notch, and quite small sometimes. We saw some good ones about Anthony, another video. We're still on the trail of the altar built by Jesus' own hands. And there's some cool stuff coming up in a minute related. And that notch is very useful because as the sun goes around, one day of the year you'll see it sit in that site. It'll rise there. The rest of the time it won't quite hit that bottom of the V, which makes it very important. Alexander Thom's the one to look at. So if anyone knows more about Scotland and Pictish stones, I want to do a Scottish special in a couple of weeks. So please send me more information. Because we're having this Scottish Arthur's appearing, stone art's appearing, all sorts of things. Fishbourne's in Sussex, thank you very much. You went there as a birthday treat, Marshall, lucky you. Knots are not Romans, I agree with you, Paul. That seems very strange, doesn't it? Look at the RAF base, the old houses have all been demolished. Yep, history doesn't seem to count. Oh, right, I'm not going to have time to do this today. This is going to be one I will try and do next. Well, I'll just a quick mention. Yes, I will. Because I want to thank very much John Powell, I mentioned last week, gave me a big pile of books, a whole box full. And it's such a treasure trove. It's like a new library. And here's one. Hang on, let's make it a bit easier for you to see. I think you can see that. Triads and Breton. It is in English as well, okay? The Triads of the Island of Britain. I have spoken about these before. And just quickly explain, the basic theory is you learn things in threes. So 3 is a very powerful number, especially in Welsh. Oh, did you see that thing I did on the Brecon lecture? Here's an idea, let's throw this in. Another random diversion, alright? So I'll try and remember where I was. It's on the screen in front of me, I should do. Is in Welsh counting, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because what you have, if you look at the duality of Welsh, where the words have more than one meaning, this gets quite curious. It does come up with the triads in a second, it's relevant, okay? So you got een is the one. It's one, right? I'm one, you're one, the one. So I'm one, so you can be about me as well. Dwy, or dwy is there phonetically sounds like God. And this is in the hieroglyphs, chiroglyphics. You also see it in French, don't you? You got deux is two, and Dieu is God. They're almost the same word, right? And it could be the duality of God, it could be the Gnostic thing, the good and bad, wherever you like. But the the bottom line is that Dieu and Dwy Doi and do and do. It's the same thing, right? God. So you've got one God. And then tree, right? In Welsh, tree. Well, tree, it just struck me the other day when I was... John Powell invited me up to the presentation in Brecon. Tree is certain. And pedwar, like ped, your feet, a bit like you see in Latin, is to go forward, to walk. So un, doi, tri, pedwar. One in God certain, so in Welsh grammar that's one with a certain God who goes forward. One who goes forward, certain in God, un, doi, tri, pedwar. How weird's that? I can't believe no one spotted that before. It just seems bizarre to me. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 is the first things. Pimp, I go look up pimp and see if we can fit that in. Spelt pump, P-U-M-P. But here we are. Anyway, it just struck me as strange. I don't know if it means anything or not. Right, so what you have in here is, as memory aids, you have what's called triads. So you learn things in groups of 3. And then those 3 will lead to another 3, to another 3. So you learn like the 3 great kings, the 3 great battles, the 3 great queens. And it's to help you remember. It's a bit like rhetoric, you know. You know, if you want to use rhetoric, one tool is power of 3. Tony Blair loved it, right? And Barack Obama loved it. So instead of saying going to the shops, you say, I've thought of going to the shops. I want to go to the shop, and I will go to the shop. Yeah, it's a rhetorical trick. They should teach rhetoric in schools. Very useful skill. Wish I knew more about it. Right, but anyway, I just thought it caught my interest. Is they're numbered, all right? I won't go into the whole thing. I was going to talk about when they were compiled and who did it. I'm running out of time, so we'll do that next week. But number 36. 3 oppressions that came to this island, and not one of them went back. So is this kind of referring to invasions? So what we have here, yes, it's. I'll just do the academic bit. It has been suggested that another early occurrence of Gormes, that's the Welsh word Gormes, with reference to the invasions of Britain. And there's other references in the Breton monk Umanoch in the Life of St. Paul, to note Gildas's De Excedio Britannia. So you're trying not to get too intellectual on here, because a lot of it's nonsense anyway, but it is handy to have the details done. And peoples have worked really hard putting these books together. Okay, so what we're looking at, so the first oppression, so the first invasion of the Corianiad, who came here in the time of Caswallon. It says in brackets, is that Lud or Llyd, son of Beli. And not one of them went back. I love the way they said, not one of them went back. They stayed. And they came from Arabia. That shocked me when I read that. Let's check it's in focus. Go back a bit. Arabia. I hope you can see that. It's not quite in focus, but hopefully you get a good idea. Yeah, sorry, it's not quite picking it up, is it? Anyway, Arabia. Arabia. They come from the Middle East. It's in the old Triads. Why doesn't that get mentioned more? The second oppression, the Goethel Fichti. So I think that sounds like Picts to me. And not one of them went back. I think that's a reference to the Picts. And I don't think there's a thing going on at the moment with the Picts we hear first now. I don't see how that works. I think we know when they arrived and where they arrived and who they fought with. Scottish history is really, really interesting. Very, very complicated. Layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. More depth to it than Welsh history. Welsh history is quite dull in a way, really. The people turned up and they just stayed here. I mean, that's why the language is consistent. Right, the third oppression, the Saxons with Horsa and Hengist as their leaders. So that was considered the 3 great invasions. So you got one from the Middle East, or Arabia as is translated in this particular book. What was the Welsh word they used? Ac or awiau penhenoidant. Well, sounds like Asia. Anyway, like I said, I just want to tip people off, and I'm going to give a heads up, because I'm going to do this on next week's show, more on the Triads, number 36. So you got some homework to do. Read that. I'm sure it's online somewhere. I'm going to buy a book or anything. All right. I'm not going to drink any more, says Dave Powell. Or maybe I'm going to drink any less, that's the question. Oh, people are eating well. Fruits and veggies, little fish, trying to stay healthy. Right, I'm just going to mention I'm going to be doing some meditating soon. I'm going to try this hill dreaming on sacred hills. Probably in the spring when it's a little bit warmer, but I don't know. I'm in with the Druids and they don't seem to mind weather. Little tent. And it seems part of the deal that if you want to dream better and that kind of thing, you need to avoid meat. And a lot of these Druids are vegans for some reason. Curious thing as well, just going back to Luke. By the way, I'm hoping to get Luke back on this week so we can continue that series. And a lot of people are very interested in that. One of the things, if you look very closely in, I don't have my Bible out, beginning of Genesis, the first people were created, you could argue they were vegans. I'm a meat lover, okay, but it does say that God provided all the berries and the nuts, this will be your meat. It could be meat as in the old Scottish way, meat is your food. But that's what it says. And then it's later on, a couple more verses down in Genesis, where the animals come on the scene, and they're now your meat, because they are meat. But as Homer Simpson says, if you weren't meant to eat animals, why did God make them taste so good? Alright, so we've got Triad 36 and 37 next week, alright. Just a quick one, another place I want to visit, and all the information, please. There is a place in North Wales called Bwrdd Arthur, Arthur's Round Table. So I've been reading, people talk about diets now, everyone loves talking about diets. We all have to eat, don't we? So it's important. I can't manage that meat, I have to say. My energy levels and everything. I think different people have different metabolisms, don't they? I've tried being vegetarian loads of times for different reasons. I just feel rubbish. And when I'm being really grouchy after a week or two, Angie just gives me a steak and says, eat that. I'm a much happier person. So it's not for everyone, is it? Or the dowsing. I'll go on to the dowsing. Yeah, we'll go on to Bwrdd Arthur some other time. Cross of Neath, another topic worth discussing. I have to mention this just briefly, because, right, because this leads on to something else, okay? I've lifted this off Wikipedia. And, alright, I'm just going to, this bit I want to read to you. Following the complete defeat of Gwynedd and subjugation of the Principality, following the death of Llywelyn, the execution of David in 1283, this holy relic, the Cross of Neath, and if you look at Neath Rugby Club, you've got a cross on them. It's very important. There's a whole, we could do an hour on this cross. It's really important. It's not really what I'm talking about tonight, though, okay? And ready for English expropriation, that means you're going to loot it, alongside the other spiritual and temporal artifacts of the Principality. Now, the reason why this, well, let me come on to it now. The Alms Roll of 1283 records that a cleric named Hugh Ab Ithel presented part of the most holy wood of the True Cross as well. So you've got the True Cross, he's got this cross. He was then accompanied the king as he finished his campaign in North Wales before being brought to London, and he paraded it through the streets. Now what's not mentioned on this article, when they talk about the treasures, yeah, hang on. When they talk about the treasures, well, for one, no one knows what happened to them all. They've all been nicked. So the treasures of Wales are stolen and they've disappeared. They try and blame it on Oliver Cromwell. Oliver Williams would be interesting if he had them, where he'd have put them. But what struck me as interesting, if you look on the full list of the loot they took, and that Edward was very insistent on taking, it includes the crown of Arthur. That's not on this list, unfortunately, but that's part of the itinerary. So you've got a fictitious, legendary figure who didn't really exist and wasn't historical, and he wanted his crown. Now, worked that one out. So come back to that one. Alright, is Dowsing a load of nonsense? This is what everyone's been waiting for. I am Mr. Skeptical, okay? You can see my face on this video. Arnie's even more skeptical than me, and he's been a bit freaked out by this. So,
still doesn't mean...
Go on, Arn, what do you think?
It still doesn't mean it entirely.
Still not convinced by it.
But I mean...
Nor me. I will tell you now, alright? I'm going to say now that, hang on, I got to find the video. I'm in a weird position, alright? I am recognising I am in a state of what's called cognitive dissonance.
Choose this because it's a really obvious example.
Hang on,
okay?
let's pause it before we go. I do look terrible. I had 3 days of yomping up mountains with not much sleep, and we walked miles, and I was tired. But what a great picture of me. I've frozen that beautifully there. Look on. Here's a good meme shot. I'm a bit freaked out, right? Because I don't believe in any of this kind of nonsense. I'm very straight. I'm a historian. I like my books. I like academic research. I like all that kind of thing. And I get my head around how dowsing could work over water. I did a lot of dowsing with Hugh Evans up in Gwynedd. That all made perfect sense. We were finding energy lines, magnetometers, and the dowsing rods were backing up things like that. And to my mind, you can think, well, the energy of the water, and Hugh explained to me electricity, water's a conductor, and it picks it up, and all this kind of stuff. It just kind of settled in my brain. And then I started trying, met Graham and a few others, and they do a bit more advanced stuff with dowsing. And I know what I'm about to show you is nonsense. I know it can't happen. I know it can't happen. But it did in my hands, and I watched other people do it, and I've now done it quite a few times. So don't judge me. I think it's all nonsense.
What makes it do that?
I think the rods are upside down. Right, okay, let me explain. What's dowsing? All right, I'm going to explain what it is first of all. Right, what you do, you've got two, you can make one yourself. People make cheap ones. You get a couple of empty pens, like biro Bic pens we call them in Britain, and you can just put in some metal coat hangers or something. The idea is you're not actually touching the metal rods. They're sitting in a sleeve. So you can see me holding something there. They've got these rather nice, in this case, nice brass sleeves. So if you imagine you've got like a cup, hang on. Hang on. In one, there we go. Right, so I'll be holding something like this. Merry Christmas, ho ho ho. I only want some Christmas songs next week. That's what I'm holding, alright? And in it, obviously not as loose as this, is an L-shaped metal rod. So this can spin like that, just sitting in there, okay? Like that, there we go. So it'll spin freely. I'm not touching it, alright? You can move around inside the rods and you'll see that. I feel like a magician explaining a trick. I don't understand it. Freak me out. Now what dowsers do, and apparently these things are in the back of waterboard vans. They keep very quiet. They don't like to admit it. Archaeologists use it. Loads of people use them. And what you do is you walk along and you're trying to find water. So you're trying to find a pipe to fix or something like that. Or I used to know a farmer who would want to source water for his animals. And you walk along and suddenly the two metal rods, we can use bits of twig as well, will cross. And that's your spot, okay? To my brain, which is a very logical brain, the water's doing it because you go along and the water does that, okay? So it makes sense. I don't know how. It's ridiculous. There's some energy coming up through the ground or something. Oh, I'm trying to think what the... yeah, twigs works. Just hold the end of the twigs. Very perceptive people might do it even without them. Skill, little talent, and open mind, Dave Powell. Anyway, watch this because it blew my brain, alright?
Choose this because it's a really obvious example, okay?
Oh, sorry. What I wanted to do is, if it's no good me saying there's water underground, a pipe or something, you can't see it. So you can see here... Oh, hang on, you can't see anything. Let's go back. Phew, good, I spotted that. So you can see there's a stream, alright? You can see my cursor, there's a stream behind the dogs. So there's water, there's visible water, alright? I got the rods in my hands, except I'm not touching the rods. You see, they just dangle, and I'll show in minutes. The idea is you get to the water, they cross, but there's more to it than that. And what you're going to see now, freaked me out, and I'll be interested to see if it freaks anyone else out.
Choose this because it's a really obvious example, okay? There's a stream there. Right. Show me the water.
This is crossed over, right?
Keep filming, keep filming.
No problem, right? The water's done it, yeah?
Show me where there's not water. There's not water. There's not water. There's not water. There's not
they're
water.
Negative.
There's not water.
And they haven't crossed. So does that work?
Here it is.
Starting to get worried now.
Show me where there is water.
See, they cross straight away and get to the water.
No, I can't control these. Explain that. Explain that. Show me where there's water. Right over the stream. Do one more time. Show me there's got to get negative in my mind. Show me there's not water. There's not water. Show me there's not water. There's not
water, right? Negative?
There's not
no,
water.
They don't cross.
They don't cross. There's the stream. Just done it twice. You can do as many times as you like. Show me the water. There it is.
At this point, I am starting to get really freaked out. Look at my face, right? My usual jolly smile and all that is gone, okay? Now watch this. I thought, well, me being lazy, why are we doing, hang on, me being lazy, why are we doing all this walking around? Let's make a more obvious demonstration, alright? Because I was thinking of this video. So you can see the water clearly, right? It's in front of that tree, yeah? This is the stream. If anyone can explain this to me, please do, because my brain is exploding. It's cognitive dissonance. I'm seeing it, I'm experiencing it, I'm doing it, and I still can't believe it or accept it that it happens. And I've tested it again, and it does. This will freak you out. Watch this. I am an academic, Mr. Cynical, alright?
Just want to say my hands are not connected to the poles, right? They spin. We're going to stand here now over the water. Show me the water. Show me the water.
I'm standing still, alright? I don't know why people walk back and forth. Why bother? If it works, it works. Watch this. They cross.
Show me not water. I want not water. Not water. Not water.
I'm not even moving.
I haven't even moved.
So without me moving, they crossed.
That, can you?
And the uncrossed. Depending on what you can see my face. I'm like, what just happened there? And I wish Tara kept filming, actually, because everyone else was just laughing and laughing and in a nice way, because they'd been through this experience. And I show it again. I got to show it again. I got to show it again. I'm not moving, right? You can watch my hands, watch my feet, watch air. If I do anything, it's inadvertent, I tell you, because I was almost like setting out. You can't set to disprove these things. That's the problem. You have to go in with a positive mindset. And I wanted this to work, and I gave it everything mentally. And
just want to say my hands are not connected to the poles, right? They spin. We're going to stand here now over the water. Show me the water. Show me the water.
Here we go.
Show me not water. I want not water. Not water. Not water.
It's beyond weird.
What's making him do that?
You can't get
yeah,
better
I want to know the
demonstration than that,
science. I want to know the science. How can I work?
How do you...
Arnie's proper freaked out. So am I, actually. And there was another example. Go on, yeah.
Where do you get these? I'd like to have a look.
Yeah, we'll get some. Yeah, we just get a couple of coat hangers or something. Nothing special about them. There's people on the comments saying they just use a couple of twigs or something. Now, I wasn't going to go into this. What I'm afraid of is this will get sort of... people just ridicule it and say that all the history is ridiculed. And most important to me is Wilson and Blackett's work, which is well-researched and academic. And then this... I've got to tell you one example, which I'm absolutely gutted we didn't film it, but I've got 4 other witnesses. So, and I wouldn't make it up. I got no reason to make it up at all. I mean, I'm not here to promote dowsing. I've got a clue about it. And we thought we were looking for this altar by Jesus, right? This wasn't that one, but we found another altar near Llanthony under a burial mound, which we're drawn to this mound, okay? I know it sounds nonsense. I know it's more nonsense to me than anybody, all right? My brain is fried, so don't hang me on this. So I want to have a go, all right? I'm lazy. I can want to walk, okay? So I just stand over the spot where the altar's supposedly found, and they pretend these are the things, right? So they're the rods. So I say, show me the altar, all right? I'm just standing still again. I don't know if I got special powers. I don't bother walking even. I just cross like that, all right? So I thought, all right, got to test this now. And I said, show me an ancient rugby ground. And he went like that. They didn't drift open like you just saw there. Like as if to say, how dare you ask me such a stupid question? Are you taking the, what's it? He went like that. So I'm there. I'm holding them. Show me the altar. Does this. And then I go, show me an ancient rugby ground. And they flew out. Bob was there. Bob was Mr. Serious Surveyor. He was freaked out as well. And he was joking, if I had longer rods, I could use them to wax on with it. So, it's not just water, it's almost anything. And do some more experiments this week, hiding things in the garden and finding them using dowsing rods and all sorts of stuff. And I kept this till last because I don't know how to follow that, really. I don't know. Do you want to see that one more time? It's only 30 seconds.
Just want to say my hands are not connected to the poles, right? They spin.
Because I am freaked out. I don't know if you're as freaked out as I am.
We're going to stand here now with the water.
There we are. Someone's found a ring they lost.
Show me the water.
Freaked them out.
Show me the water.
They found a gold ring. Look, look. How can that happen?
Show me not water. I want not water. Not water. Not water.
It doesn't matter how many times I see this, I am just as freaked out.
You can't get a better.
So Ross is a believer. Ross has got no choice, is he? Ross is in what do you call it? Cognitive dissonance. I can see it, I can do it, I know it works. I still can't believe it. So I obviously do believe it, I don't know. What can you do? What can you do, eh? I'm still I'm a bit weirded out by this. Anyway, just coming to the end of the show now. I also want to go back on the slideshow. Let's just wrap things up now, because you can't follow that, can you? And it's past our bedtimes. I'm going to be up at 6:30 again. I'm going all the way up to Camland tomorrow morning. If we're in the region of Camland, and I should be there late morning, wandering around the battlefield, taking some more video. Then have a look. You can use dowsing for anything, says Graham. Yeah, it's he uses them for healing as well, finding emotions. The video did not come up. What are you on?
I saw the video.
Oh, we just saw the video. It's all energy intent. I don't know how it works. I think you're right, Kay. It is some sort of energy. We couldn't see the last video. Oh, I do apologise. I thought we did. All right, okay. Hang on, I'm going to watch it one more time. One more time. And you can see me being freaked out here. Here we go. Sorry, folks. I didn't hit the screen share. All right, we'll do it again. All right,
so my hands are not connected
thanks,
to
Leon.
the poles, right? They spin.
Watch this again now. One more time.
We're going to stand here now with the water. Show me the water. Show me the water. Show me not water. I want not water. Not water. Not water. I'd be moot.
So that's just about Flanton Priory. You think it's holy water as well, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know. Ross, it works, don't be afraid. Yeah, even though Ross saw me, it's still saying join. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Paula has joined, and Paula should have a little badge next to her name, so I'll try again and sort that out. If anyone knows how YouTube memberships work, please let me know. But, yeah, how freaky is that, eh? I don't know. Oh, hang on a second, to spoil my thing. Don't look at that, don't look at that. Trying to do a reveal thing now. Slideshow, so that was me being... I don't know. I'll put it up as a 30-second video, okay? I think I'll do that. Alright, so come to the end of the show. Just, late, almost 10 o'clock. My boys got school in the morning. Very good, Ross. I believe there's so much more than we're allowed to believe we know we are. Yeah. Is Lauren showing you around Camland? Yes. What do you want? Night. Oh, Zabby, yeah, you're very tired. You need to go to bed, darling. Yeah, I'll be up.
Stay up longer though.
I know. Go up to bed. I'll come. Go on. I'll come and tuck you in anyway. He's very tired. I all played rugby this morning as well. He's still got his kit on. Have you actually showered, Sav? Still covered in mud.
Tried to tell him to shower.
He's still covered in mud. Right, okay. So special report on Camland. Yeah, well spotted, whoever that was in the audience then. The moment Ross realises he's a reincarnated Welsh wizard. Well, I have been summoned by a druid for some reason, so my mind is just full-on boggled mode at the moment. Alright, so I'll do our video all that. Oh yeah, the Wind Factory protest video. If you want to be on it, it's going to say the beautiful and talented Bethan, Gavin, the beautiful Tara you saw singing on the video. I will be on there. I've done lots of shots of hills and things. I like to do lots of, like, well, Paul's going to have the problem of doing it. I like to have lots of different faces, all singing, you know, the one I did about the Joni Mitchell song, which I've sort of rewritten a bit. It said, I feel like I should sing that, but I'm a bit tired now. There you go. So we've got to do that. Tracing the altar of Jesus. I can't even talk about it anymore because it needs a lot of dowsing and things. I hope the people on here are not going to be whizzed out and never see them again. Burial site of Illdid, I talked about earlier. That's near the Brecon Mountain Centre. Been up there, done some filming. Because the thing I haven't mentioned on the videos over the last year or two is I've seen some really freaky, weird stuff that I thought not appropriate for a history channel because it's going to ridicule everything. And it's getting to the stage where I am to show bits of it because, you know, how can you... it's just hypocritical otherwise, isn't it? It's just hypocritical. If you see it, you got to report it. Yeah, I'm a reporter more than anything. Oh, Arthur the Musical, the very last thing. Right. Ha ha. Yeah, good night to everyone, yes. And everyone's going to bed now, it's getting late. I just want to say, we had this idea, and I'm blaming John Powell, who is most, I don't know if he's got a proper title like Worshipful or something, but I call him most glorious mayor of Brecon. He's done a brilliant job. Not only did he bring me up for a talk, there's loads going on. Christmas videos and... Man, if every council had someone like that doing things, the world would be a much better place. I'm near a peep out of Pontypridd, my local one. Brecon is just something all the time. Arnie was in a video playing his violin because they did a Christmas song, lots of people going around town all singing it. Loads of stuff, brilliant. Anyway, he took me when I was up there on a tour. He gave me a special tour behind the scenes of Brecon, which also, God, another film that could go up. Beautiful around the secret's not the right word, the private rooms and stuff like that. Now, in the middle of Brecon, they've got a fantastic theatre. I think it seats, John, if you're there still, he's probably gone to bed by now, 200-300 people. Old-fashioned, proper stage, curtains, terraced audience. We've got to use it. John says we can use and access the facility. One thing I was thinking of, we need to have a conference, long overdue, for Britain's Hidden History conference. Before I don't know what's going on with being locked down and all that kind of stuff, I think we're just going to have to go on a bit of faith and book it. All right, and do it. We have a get-together. It's really important. And not just me talking, lots of other people are doing lots of great work. And they could all have like an hour-long slot. I know 4 or 5 speakers a day. Most of these chances people to get to know each other, say hello, discuss them, network, and create lots of little pods so we're not all just like spokes off. We're not spokes off a central hub. We're all little pods working around who come together. Much more difficult to disrupt something like that. And it's more fulfilling. You'll feel more fulfilled if you make new friends from it. I have to say, most of the friends I've got now, I just noticed the other day, they all come from people I've met through doing this over the last few years, as well as rugby club and things like that. But, the musical. Yeah, with a venue like that. I don't know if it's John or someone, just as a little bit of a joke, said about Arthur the Musical or Arthur the Play. So I just felt inspired again. The muse just struck, and I did it last night. I had an idea in my head, and I've written out the synopsis for an eight-act play. You could have 9, you could have a finale as well. And it's the period of Arthur II, Arthur King Glamorgan, his life. We're looking from... basically there's an introduction, there's an introductory scene just to introduce Meyrig and Tudrig, and then the play's going to start Arthur being sort of 14-15, summoned to the throne, and then we're going to have a Saxon invasion, how it's dealt with, and there are so many twists. I can't talk about the rest of it, so I want people to enjoy it. So I do need a few songs though, so I might put a synopsis out there. I think a song every scene might be too much. I mean, that's a My Fair Lady format. Serious acting and dialogue. This is not a comedy. It's a serious piece. It's a serious... I think a musical would be good. Even if we don't write songs, it's very atmospheric. To give you an idea, the first scene, just to give you an idea of the flavour, is the burial of Tudrig after he's been killed defending the crossing at Mathern, right? Where he's going to get buried at Tintern. Tintern Abbey, still there to this day, okay? And it's going to be the opening scene with Berthengallo, the oxen, but with the stags' heads. It's all religious symbolism. And that will be the funeral site. And then we go on to the situation where the monks, I'm afraid, are a bit the bad guys in this, and the Catholic Church coming in. But this, you got to have a bad guy. Even if it's historical or not. It's, they say, anyway. There's going to be a big argument, similar to what you see in the Arthur the Walking, Wilson and Blackett. I unashamedly take a lot of their work, and will acknowledge it. The argument about where it's going to be, and then there's a chance to explain how Tudrig wants to become a saint through donating his land, and this is the whole thing. Saints aren't like Francis of Assisi type saints. The saints are members of the Holy Family, or the Royal Family, also holy, who donated land and built churches. That's how he became a saint. Right, so that's all explained. And then we jump across then, because Myri's going to get injured, not able to be king, and we're going to jump across to where Arthur's just finishing his education. Then we discover what the sword and the stone really means. And that's to do with Arthur's early education. And then he's summoned away from there because he needs to come and lead the armies. And then it's going to be all sorts of intrigue with the plotting and the monks, and deals being done with the Saxons and the invasion. And the triangle comes in with Guinevere, and Gulkenwald, who's Lancelot's, and is a little bit, but nothing's as you seems. So I'm looking for some collaborators on that, alright? I think it'd be great. And I need to find out for John how long he's got to go, okay? Because, it's good to go. It's good to go. Just like this. Do you love it when you get like this inspiration? You just... I thought I'd never get to bed last night. Just typed it all out, and it's all done. I got, obviously, dialogue and stuff, but I think, the dialogue almost writes itself, and actors and things can add dialogue. And I reckon it'd be about an hour with a half-time interval. It's just drops out perfectly. So we're going to need a cast, right? I think local school children as well, local people involved. Going to need some musicians, need some help. We're going to put a show on, all right? We're going to put a show on. We're going to have a conference, and in the evening is going to be a show. How cool is that going to be? Right, so there you go. I can't really follow that, can I? So you got it all tonight, didn't you? Plus. Ronnie B, are you going to play us out, mate? Or am I going? Are you tired?
Oh, okay.
You looks a bit worn out there. Am I going to do my big yellow taxi? Do you want me to do that?
Oh, okay.
You had a hard day today. Playing prop in a big cup match. So it's going to be... Yeah. I got this little guitar, by the way. It's quite cool. My children for Christmas presents a couple of years ago. Right. I've talked out. So I was 2 hours just me rambling on. I can't believe it. Where'd it go? So I'm going to try and sing. Just sing along to yourself, all right? Destroyed paradise, put up a wind turbine with a big fat cables, concrete and a power station. Oops, excuse my guitar playing. Don't it always seem to go? You just don't know what you got till it's gone. Destroyed paradise, put up a wind turbine. Took all the stones, put them in Stone Museum. In the video, we'll have a picture of the Llewellstone. Made damn sure people would never get to see him. I can't remember. How's the bridge going on? Hey, so I got proper musicians doing the video, right? I'm just there to look good, okay? Or meant to make me look good, I meant to say. Freudian slip. New verse. Hey, politicians, put away the JCB now. You've heard us enough. It's time to think about the birds and bees now. Don't it always seem to go? Just don't know what you got till it's gone. Destroyed paradise, put up a wind turbine. He's laughing at me. I'm sure. Who is he playing at? You see, we need musicians, right? I'm an ideas guy. Chopsy bloke. Don't it all? Just don't know what you got till it's gone. Joy paradise, put up the wind. I'm sure that's the wrong chords those last two. It's the wrong chords. I've written down the wrong chords. Put up a wind turbine. Anyway, there you go. You get the idea. I'm what's called, if you're bardic consultant here. Oh, good. Well, drop me emails, Ross at Powerful Energy Dad. Thank you. So just send some emails through if you want to be part of that. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to rely on faith, all right? And we're going to get there. It's going to be Arthur the musical. Arthur and... It might be... I might make too much away. Arthur and Hewell. I might see some stage magic or someone with their head chopped off. Right, anyway. Almost 10 o'clock. Good night from me. Good night from Arnie. Henno. Are you going to do the business, Arnie Pons?
Oh, the heavy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to dive in there. Thank you very, very much. I'm just amazed that everyone keeps coming every week and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Some people have watched like all 80 shows, and I am like so flattered and humbled and grateful, and I'm enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying it half as much as I am. You'll still be having a great time. So take it away, Arnie B.
And until next time. Heavy.
Did you get it right? Did you get it right? Did you get the right button?
I'm fairly certain.
Yay! There we go. All right, turn the microphones off. What's his name? If is no longer in the building.